Hello, my name is Joseph Dotson, and I'm going to be presenting to you today about imagery. Okay, started, pulled up, share, and present. Okay, so as I mentioned beforehand, I'll be presenting to you about imagery. So, hopping into things. Defining imagery. Imagery is the mental practice or repetitions that you go through using all five senses. So for example, if I could have you close your eyes, pretend that you are holding out your right hand. You are holding a ball. You can feel the texture of the ball. You can feel the stitching moving across the ball. You toss the ball up onto the other side to your other hand, and you can feel yourself catch that ball and the weight take the hand down and come back up. You throw the ball up again and you catch it in your right hand. You feel the weight of the ball bring it down, catch it back up. That is a simple imagery practice that is not specific to anything, but you can use that imagery for anything from practicing a presentation all the way to practicing a final event in the Olympics. So those are some of the reasons why to practice. And you can practice imagery right before you go to sleep, on your lunch break, in your 15-minute breaks, on the runway before you take an approach at an event, or 10 minutes before your race. As well as imagery, I will be talking to you today about mindfulness. And mindfulness is the state of being aware or cognitive awareness of one's person or their surroundings. And I have three key words marked for mindfulness, and those words are attention, relaxed or relaxation, and an open mind. You need to be attentive when you are doing practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness takes a lot of attention, though you don't have to grasp at things. You still have to be aware. You need to be relaxed when practicing mindfulness because you cannot be tensed and responding to any other stressors while practicing mindfulness. And you need to have an open mind because when practicing mindfulness, it is important to be it is important to be to give your thoughts the space and be not to be judgmental. Moving into it, for these I have scripts written out that are overarching, that are guidelines. The overarching goal of these scripts is to facilitate the most vivid picture possible. The brain is actually an interesting organ if you can imagine it, it is just as good as doing the real thing. Your brain is unable to differentiate the two. That's why dreams seem so real. So moving into the mindfulness script, I have a few things written down that I would like for you to be aware of. So the first part is finding a comfortable position that you would like to practice your mindfulness in. The next part is to hold your posture and to be strong. It is important to relax, but it is also important to be relaxed in a position that is able to hold your body weight and not cause any more stress to you. The next key I have is on breath. It is important. One of the most important parts of mindfulness is to be aware of your breath and how it is moving in your body and out of your body. And then the final key would be your awareness of your body and your surroundings by hearing things, by feeling your body on the ground, by feeling the gravity pulling your body to the ground, and being aware of how your body is feeling in your mind. So I have these imagery scripts. I have a script created for competition and practice. And I have the VR system on the bottom right-hand corner because this is what the picture should look like in your mind. You should be in that image. There's a lot of things that go into imagery. You have your perspective. So you can be in first person or third person. So you could be actually seeing or doing these actions yourself, or you could be hovering above yourself, watching it, or you can be another person in the stands watching yourself on the runway, for example. You have the speed, so you can go full speed, half speed, 1.5 times. I wouldn't recommend over full speed. But since you are displaying this image in your mind, you have the ability to change the different tempos that you are going through. So moving into competition. I'll read this one and I'll just go over the practice one. So this script says, "The wind is coming across the runway today. I can't wait to jump. We take our lap. I feel excited. I do have some soreness in my hamstrings, but it is nothing out of the ordinary. Sweat is trickling down behind my ear and my breathing has increased. It is time to jump. I go through my short approach work to make sure my timing is right. I do one stay down, and then at this point you're supposed to actually see yourself do the stay down drill. So you're going 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, you plant the box and you are staying down. Do 2 swing ups. So you watch yourself go 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, plant and swing up. You do that twice, and then you watch yourself do a layout 1 more time. And then you see yourself go back to your long run and you do your run throughs. And you see that and then you say, my step has been consistently at 12.6. So you've watched yourself take off at 12 feet 6 inches behind the box and plant the pole and take it up every time. And then you go through your competition. So your opening bar is at 4 meters and 25. You clear it first time. 4 meters, 40 centimeters, clear it first time. Next bar is 455. You missed the first one. You see yourself go up and you see that the bar is getting a little too small and you go into it a little bit. So you go move up a pole. So in the next attempt, you see yourself go down the runway with the next larger pole and you make the attempt. You go to the next bar, 470. And then you go take your first attempt and the same thing as the first attempt last time. You miss and the pole got too small. So you go up the next pole and you make it. And you see yourself at 485. You see all 3 of those attempts, all misses, but you try to make little changes in between every miss that you and your coach will make in real life. The more that you can integrate into your visualization and your imagery, the better it will be, and then the more real it will seem, and the better it will integrate into your mind. So this is the practice one, and it's very similar. You see yourself go through the warm-ups, your short approach drills, and then you're actually going to be, it says what pole you're on, where you're holding, and then what the bungee is at. So moving into the plan of action, I have created those scripts, and we will be using those scripts for 8 weeks. That will be for the competition season. We started this last week, and then we'll go all the way through the middle of May. So we start with our mindfulness. This is just to stimulate the brain, get things formed up, and the more that we can be mindful, the better we have, the better ability we have to produce a more visual and vivid imagery scenario in our brain. So for the first week, we're going 34, and then we'll gradually increase by 5 to 10 minutes each week after that. The first week, we don't exceed more than 7 minutes at a time, and I think we only get up to 15 minutes in week 5 and 6. And then after week 7 and 8, we actually have a drop in mindfulness, but this will have an increase in imagery where we use our imagery scripts. And that is because this is our competition time. So we would like to spend the most amount of time actually seeing ourselves compete rather than just being mindful and aware of what is going on around us. And for our timeline, I expect for day 15, the majority of the group will notice a difference during jumping practice, whereas they can feel themselves swinging and knowing what they're doing and not doing correctly. 5 days later, the group becomes more efficient in competitions. 10 days later, the practice facilitates a competition atmosphere. Because of what they know what they are doing in the visualization and their imagery, they're actually, I believe that they would be able to facilitate the atmosphere of an actual pole vault competition in this example. Whereas they are actually taking big jumps in practice when usually that's not the case at all. 2 weeks later, the athletes will compete at conference. I don't have any goals or anything written down for this because the competition will speak for itself. And then 2 weeks following that will be the national competition. And again, same thing, no goals or expectations because the results will speak for themselves. And with that, that is my presentation on imagery. Thank you for listening.